Okay, let's talk about something that's literally killing us right now. I'm sitting here in Delhi in December 2025 and my city's air quality has hit what experts call hazardous levels.
How toxic your air has been this season.
And air quality remains in the severe plus category.
The air quality index is averaging between 384 and 477 across the capital. But here's what nobody's really talking about. Delhi is not alone in this nightmare. Right now, as I'm recording this, Patna's AQI is 363. Lucknow is at 312. Kolkata is hovering around 276. Mumbai, Chandigarh, Gurgaon, all of them are breathing poison. We are not just looking at one city's crisis, we are looking at an entire nation gasping for clean air. The World Health Organization says anything above 300 is a health emergency. We are not just crossing that line, we are living in a health emergency every single day. This isn't just bad air quality, this is a full blown public health emergency affecting millions of people across India. And here's what makes me really angry. We talk about this every single winter, politicians make announcements, news channels run prime time debates, we all share concerned posts on social media, Delhi gets the headlines, but cities like Ludhiana, Lucknow, Kanpur are suffering just as badly and they are barely getting any attention. But nothing changes. So today I want to break down exactly what's happening to our bodies when we breathe this air. Why this keeps happening year after year across our cities and what actually needs to be done not just for Delhi but for every city that's choking right now along with us. Hello everyone, my name is Preeti and let's start the video. Last year, 7,188 people died in India from pollution related illness. That's 15% of all the deaths in the country. 464 children under the age of 5 die every single day in India from air pollution. Let me say that again. 464 children every single day. That's one child dying every 3 minutes. So, a child's lungs and immune systems are still developing. PM 2.5 particles are so tiny, they are 2.5 micrometers or smaller, that go deep into the airways, bypassing the body's natural defenses. Once inside, they trigger acute respiratory infections, asthma attacks, and pneumonia. In India, when the median household exposure to PM 2.5 is 63 micrograms per cubic meter, more than 12 times the WHO guideline, an entire generation of kids across India are losing their lives, their lung capacity, their futures, just by breathing, just by existing here. For older people, the situation is even worse. Long-term exposure to PM 2.5 increases the risk of cardiovascular diseases, stroke, COPD, and acute respiratory events. In India, pollution is now identified as the number one health risk, but the data isn't being collected or reported the way it should be. And adults, we are not safe either. I'm young and healthy, I'll be fine. No, you won't. Not in this toxic air we are breathing in. During weeks of heavy smoke, lung function drops dramatically. This isn't happening to someone else, this is happening to you right now, every breath. Whether you are in the capital or in a city that's nobody even bothering to monitor. So, air is made of tiny things called molecules, like oxygen that we breathe in and nitrogen that fills most of the air. These molecules are good and clean, but sometimes harmful gases such as carbon monoxide from the cars, carbon dioxide in large amounts, sulfur dioxide from burning coal, nitrogen dioxide from vehicles and power plants, ozone near the ground, and volatile organic compounds from paints and fuels enter the air. Along with these gases, tiny dust and smoke pieces called particulate matter, that is PM 2.5 and PM 10, float around and can go deep into our lungs. According to a Central Pollution Control Board based report, Delhi consistently records some of the worst air quality in India. Most of the 234 major Indian cities, including Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Pune, and Chennai, have moderate air quality, the AQI between 101 to 200. But there are also a significant number of cities such as Kanpur, Varanasi, Lucknow, Ghaziabad, and Agra with poor air quality, and a few such as Greater Noida, Faridabad, Gurugram, which comes under the NCR, is very poor category, that is 301 to 400. Only a very small number of cities comply with WHO's guideline according to CREA monthly snapshot. And most of these cities' clean air locations are found in India's extremely northern regions, extremely southern parts, and the northeast, such as Mandi, Kinnaur. Cities like Delhi, Ghaziabad, Gurugram, Noida, Kanpur face severe pollution because several major sources stack on top of of each other. Vehicles are the biggest contributor. Delhi alone has over 12 million vehicles, adding more than half of the city's PM 2.5. While huge industrial clusters and power plants across the Indo-Gangetic Plan from Punjab and Haryana to Uttar Pradesh and Bihar release SO2 and nitrogen oxides and heavy metals that drifts across state borders. Constant construction and road dust in rapidly growing cities adds major layer. While stubble burning in Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh sends smoke in Delhi, NCR, Meerut and even Lucknow each October-November. On top of this, Diwali firecrackers create short extreme spikes with PM 2.5 sometimes rising over 100 times the WHO limit, trapping dense smoke in the winter air. Now let me quickly explain why pollution gets stuck over North India, especially the Indo-Gangetic Plan. If you look at this diagram, you'll understand it instantly. North India is basically shaped like a giant bowl. On three sides is surrounded by natural barriers: the Himalayas in the north, the Aravalli Hills in the west, and the Vindhya Ranges in the south. What does this do? It creates a geographical trap where polluted air enters but cannot escape easily. During winter, the situation gets even worse. As temperature drop, a layer of cold, heavy air settles near the ground. This is called temperature inversion. Now, instead of rising and dispersing, all the pollution from vehicles, industries, construction dust, and even stubble burning gets trapped close to the surface. So, imagine this: pollution is rising from all the direction, but the mountains block the horizontal movement, and the cold air blocks the upward movement. As a result, cities like Delhi, Noida, Ghaziabad, Gurugram, Kanpur, Lucknow, and Patna become a closed chamber of smoke. This is why, even if emissions were the same, the geography of North India makes the pollution stay longer, spread slower, and impact harder than other regions. India is not alone in this battle. In fact, some nations were drowning in pollution long before us. Let's begin with China. So, between 2010 and 2013, Beijing's 2.5 levels regularly crossed 300 to 500, almost exactly what Delhi sees today. But then China launched the war on air pollution, shutting thousands of coal plants, imposing strict fuel rules, investing heavily in EVs and metro, and publicly penalizing officials who ignored pollution targets. Result: according to WHO and Clean Air Asia, Beijing's pollution dropped by over 50% in a decade. Decades before China, it was London. The Great Smog of 1952 killed nearly 12,000 people. London looked like a dystopian disaster film. Then came the Clean Air Acts of 1956 and 1968, banning coal in urban homes and forcing industries to shift away from dirty fuels. Today, as WHO's air quality database shows, London has far cleaner air. Japan followed a similar journey. In the 1960s and 70s, Osaka and Tokyo were blanketed in toxic smoke. Japan fought back with the world's strictest industrial emission standards, massive public transport expansion, and strict factory inspections. Today, Japan is one of the cleanest industrial economies on earth. Then there was Los Angeles. The US EPA's Clean Air Act 1970 turned the city from a smog capital where people couldn't see nearby mountains into a region with 70% cleaner air. Even as the population grew, catalytic converters, emission standards, and federal enforcement changed everything. South Korea's story is more recent. The country suffered severe smoke through the 1990s and 2000s. They introduced ultra low sulfur fuels, EV incentives, and strict industrial monitoring. Today, the air is cleaner, although cross border pollution from China still affects them, showing that no country is an island in the sky. These countries were once like us. The lesson is simple: clean air is not a miracle, it's a decision. A decision backed by science, money, urgency, and discipline. If China, London, Tokyo, Seoul, and LA could rise from the haze, India can too. The question is, will we choose to do it? But here's the truth we must face: India cannot copy paste another country's solution. Our population is larger, our cities are denser, our challenges are deeper. We need our own path, and it begins with something very simple: us. People often say, I'm just one person, what difference can I make? But look closely at every clean air success story. You'll notice one thing in common: they changed only when the people demanded it. Clean air movements didn't start with governments, they started with citizens who refused to accept the toxic air. Citizens who reduced their own emissions, who questioned their leaders, who reported violations, who pushed for alternatives, who proved that public pressure is more powerful than smoke. You can start with the biggest contributor: vehicles. One shared ride, one metro trip, one EV scooter may not change the world, but it will reduce the pollution you release in your city. And remember, one person acting alone is small, but one person inspiring 10 others, that's how movements begin. Those nations didn't clear their air overnight, they did it through millions of small decisions made by ordinary citizens every single day. India's air crisis is enormous, and so is India. And when a billion people take even one step each, the sky will have no choice but to be clear. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video informative, please give us a like, comment on our video, share our video, and subscribe for more such videos.